Hello and welcome to my third video on cams in this cam project. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding the cams you previously designed to this box. We're going to get it constrained to this handle so that when I turn the handle, the cam turns with it and this follower rises and falls as it rides along that cam. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place the cam that I created. Mine was an elliptical cam. So that's what I want to place in here. And on a previous video, we added these work features, these work planes, and gave them nice, convenient names to help us attach it to this. So that's what we're actually going to be constraining. We're going to be constraining these planes to the various work planes that I created on my box and my follower. So the first one I'm going to look at is the follower has two planes that were created. If you hit this arrow over here in the browser and open up everything underneath it, you can see the parts of this. So we can see that there's a plane called mate with midplane of cam and angle of rotation follower. So I'm going to take this cam midplane and I want to mate it with the midplane of the cam. So I'm going to go to constrain and we're going to do this mate. I can click on these planes right on the screen right over here. So cam midplane, and I could select on mate with midplane, or I can click on them over here, cam midplane and mate with midplane. And it puts it right there on that plane. I'm going to hit apply. Now, obviously, that's not really where I want it. So for our next constraint, we're going to do a mate with this axis that we created, the work axis. And there's also a work axis on the handle. So I'm going to mate those two axes together, and that actually puts it on the handle. So at this point, I can turn the handle, but the cam is in the right spot, but it doesn't turn. And so what I need to do is connect this or match the angle of rotation. So I've actually created a cam for a work plane for that, both named angle of rotation, because those are the planes that we're going to use to measure the angle of rotation. So I want that to match. And so I'm going to constrain. It's going to probably be easier to get over here. The elliptical cam, we had a work plane named angle of rotation. So that's going to be one of my planes. And then on the follower, I also had, no, not on the follower, on the handle. We also have a handle angle of rotation, which actually is pretty easy to just select because I made it so big. And so now those two match. And when I turn the handle, the cam goes with it. Okay, so a lot of these planes we don't need anymore. And so I can actually hide them. So I can right click, say, on the angle of rotation for the cam. I'm going to turn off visibility. Cam midplane, I'm going to turn off visibility, and those will go away. Clean up my picture a little bit. The follower, a mate with midplane, I don't need that anymore. So I can get rid of that. And then I just have these last two that I am going to use here in a minute. So I'll leave them on there. However, as I turn this, the follower is not following the cam. So we're going to have to add a constraint to make it follow the cam. So I'm going to do, this time, a different one. We're going to do a transitional constraint. There's only one type here. This constraint kind of basically takes a curved object like the bottom of this follower and has it stick to some kind of continuous surface. So we have here a surface, the edge goes all the way around. So these two will mate with this type of constraint. So I click on our curved surface, I click on our surface with a continuous edge, and there it is. Those two are now connected. And as I turn the handle, the follower now follows the cam. I have put into mine this ruler that we can, right now it's turned off, but I'm going to turn on visibility. And so as I rotate this, we can measure the height of the follower and get things like the maximum displacement, or I could make a angle of rotation versus height position graph to graph the motion of this follower. To do that, I would want to know precisely what angle this handle is. And so if we call straight up 0 degrees, I would want to know what angle it is from that as I go around in this complete 360. So we're going to add one more constraint. It's an angle constraint, and it'll allow me to precisely know what angle my handle is making to the follower. So we're going to go to constraint. We're now going to choose angle. I'm going to choose this directed angle solution, and I'm going to click on the plane here for handle angle of rotation and follower angle of rotation. I have set it to 0 degrees, and there it is. Now we can see, I could come in here and I could measure what the height of this is when that angle is 0 degrees. If I want to check a different angle, I just double click on this, and I can now set it to 45 degrees, and it will change the height of that follower accordingly, and I could record this height in the 45 degrees and continue doing that for additional angles to make my position versus, or my height versus angle graph. All right, so that does it for this video. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.